My father died over 30 years ago, and back in the early 80s, let's not do the math on this, but back in the early 80s, I had just finished a year of college, and admittedly, I wasn't applying myself in such a way that I was producing good grade results. And my father was appropriately furious, I would say, when he got my grade report, which had to have been at the end of my first year of college, because I think parents don't get your grade reports after that. I was on the phone, chit-chatting, a corded phone, probably from the kitchen bent around down in the basement with the door closed, probably talking to a girlfriend. And my father got the mail, opened it, looked at the grade report, and he shouted, "Get off the phone and get to work." There might have been an expletive in there as well. So those words cut deeply. I was ashamed of the performance. I wanted to be approved by my parents. I wanted my father to think well of me and get off the phone and get to work. Cut deeply and brought up the shame that I was feeling. So now, decades later, I've heard those words in different ways, and that's what I want to share with you today. So get off the phone. Now, for my dad, decades ago, to have this idea that we were all going to be on our phones all the time in the next millennia, in the next century, I don't know if he was clairvoyant or what, but the way I'm hearing that now is these phones are pulling us away from really important things. So get off the damn phone becomes drop the distractions, stop with the dopamine hits, stop engaging in this behavior that's avoidance, numbing, and basically indulging these sensory desires that we have, mostly visual when we're looking at the phone, but our sensory desires of pleasant tastes and sounds and sights and touch, and we feel drawn to these. We have this craving because we're trying to avoid, trying to offset some unpleasantness that we really need to face. So let's say get off the phone is this message and representative of let's stop distracting ourselves, stop getting dopamine hits, stop avoiding, stop numbing, and stop engaging in these sensory desires that are pulling us away from the path that we need to get on. Which leads us to then get to work. So get to work then becomes get going, get moving on your journey, get doing what moves you in the direction of your true path. Take action. So it's get moving, get doing, take action in the moment that we have right now to do something that's moving us in the direction that we really truly want to go, in a direction that's connected to our true path. Now, here's the warning. In an effort to get moving, to get doing, and to take action, we have to be aware of what I learned from Corey Muscara that he referred to as a performative commitment, where we're just making a commitment that is performative in the sense of it's like saying to the world, like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm doing good here, I'm doing this thing, and it's meant to sort of impress the world, and it's what Martha Beck would refer to as a cultural hustle. So we want to be very aware as we're taking action in the moment and choosing our behavior. Is this a performative action? Is this a performative commitment where I'm just trying to make a good impression, but it's not tied to my true path? It's not connected to my authentic self. Martha Beck, again, refers to it as the cultural hustle, where we're all so influenced by society and societal expectations and that societal narrative that we're constantly pulled towards that, which oftentimes pulls us away from our true path, our authentic path. I also like to think of this, and this is my own adaptation or interpretation of what I see as, in my own life, safety-based choices. So I'm making a choice and it's safety-based. It's a fear avoidance choice. So when we're living in fear, when we're living in insecurity, when we're living in this unpleasant place, and we really just want to get out of that, we will do this cultural hustle. We'll do this performative action. We'll take a safety-based move. So we go from one as safe as possible place that we can be in to the next as safe as possible. Now, many things that happen in a safety-based choice are good things. I certainly know in my own life, changing jobs from one teaching and coaching job to the next teaching and coaching job that's socially acceptable. And that is just safety-based, but look, it's kind of performative. It looks good. So good for me, nice job, but it's not tied to my authentic self. What I'm afraid of is what I need to do. So if I want to be courageous, I have to be scared, right? In order to have courage, there has to be fear. So I have to lean into those scary things and be willing to go through that discomfort, because there's something authentic for me on the other side of that. So here's a suggestion, an approach that has to do with our neurology. We end up in a situation, a circumstance, in a moment. Pause. I say this to myself every day. Pause. Pause. Choose. Wire the brain. Pause. Make your choice. Wire the brain. Sometimes the brain, the neurology, is a rewiring because we've established these neural pathways that are very well developed, but they're negative habits. They're not serving us well, but they're super well developed, so that's the path we choose, or that's the path we automatically go down. So pause gives us a chance to choose something new, to choose a different reaction, a different action, a different pathway. And then those new neural pathways are going to begin to develop. And the more we practice this habit of pause, choose the new, rewire the pathway, the more those positive pathways are developed. So that's a message that I have to share with you for today. Think about it. If you take nothing away from this, get off the phone and get to work. Pause. Choose the power move. Rewire the brain. If you want to talk more about this, I'd love to have the conversation. You can contact me at chrislittle@chrislittlecoaching.com. Let's talk.